blowing raspberries though, really, isn't it?
Hello, and welcome to the Lock-In Podcast. My name's Mike, and this is Baz. Say hello, Baz.
Hello, Baz. Slightly more exuberant than usual.
I think we need to explain that both Baz and I have been day drinking today, so anything could happen tonight.
I'm so sorry for what's about to happen.
It's fine. It's all good. Look, the whole premise of this podcast is it's me and Baz in our virtual pub having a few drinks and chatting to someone who's turned up at our table in the pub, right? Sometimes middle-aged men are pissed in pubs, so it's fine. It's all good, mate.
And this one's just turned up at the pub as well.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. Listen, I'm so excited about tonight's podcast. And the reason I'm excited, I have three reasons, right? Firstly, our guest tonight is one of the most incredible talents I've ever come across in my entire life. Okay, number one. Secondly is I came across this person purely by chance, and look, the fucking stars aligned that night and brought our paths to cross. And I'm so grateful that happened. So we'll talk about how that happened as well. And thirdly, for everybody listening and everybody watching, this is the first time in 40-odd podcasts that Baz doesn't know who our guest is. So I'm also excited about that. I'm literally introducing Baz to somebody who I think is fucking incredible. So,
which is quite strange, to be fair, because usually, like, I get a quick brief from Mike, and I do no research, and then often I don't even know the guest. So tonight I've no idea who it is at all, which is quite exciting, to be fair.
Well, exactly. So basically, the only difference between tonight and normal is that Baz doesn't know the name because he does no fucking research. He does nothing else, and so in terms of from everyone else's point of view, you will notice no difference. It'll be seamless. All right. So I'm going to bring this person on. I'm not going to mention the name just in case because the name is part of the brand and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to give anything away. I will talk about how we cross paths first. Okay. So I go on holiday to the same place in Devon every year. Okay. A place called Woolacombe. It's brilliant, right? It's a really cool place full of like surfers, and it's just a really cool place. The beach is second to none, and it's amazing. So we go there every year, right? And there was this one time we were there. I was out with a few of my mates who I know down there, and we just happened to be in this bar, and there was an open mic night in this bar, right? And there's the usual like stuff going on, and then there was just this one moment when I was fucking blown away by someone. And I was just like, how has this just happened? How has this person just come into my life in this bar at this time? And I'm trying to tell my mates, and all my mates are pissed. And I'm going, lads, listen. And they're going, and I was like, look. So I literally left my mates and I went and stood and just gave this person my undivided attention and then had a quick chat with her afterwards. Anyway, scroll forward about 12 months later, somehow they cropped up on my social media, and I was like, this is incredible. So I've been following her on social media, and sometimes I have to control myself about being proper fanboy, and tonight is one of those nights because we're going to bring her on. I'm going to bring her on. I'm not going to mention her name, like I say, because the name is part of the brand, and just on the off chance you might have heard.
Do you want me to guess who it is?
No. I'm going to bring her on.
Can I just say, if it's Martine McCutcheon, I'm going to cut this, then I'm going to fuck off.
It's not Martine McCutcheon. It's far better than Martine McCutcheon. Anyway, so here is our guest. Hello, special guest of name I'm not going to reveal right now. Say hello. Hey, say hello. This is Baz. Say hello to Baz.
Hello, Baz.
Hello, how are you?
Baz, say hello. This is person. I'm not going to reveal the name. Anyway, so I need to calm myself down and control myself. Kimmy, can you basically do what just captivated me at this open mic night? I want to do that over to you to just do your thing.
All right. This should be better because you've had a few pints as well, Baz. So hopefully.
More than a few pints.
Working hard to make it better, doing it faster makes us stronger. More than hour after hour, work is never. Working hard to make it better, doing it faster makes us stronger. More than hour after hour, work is never over. bit. Never over. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
How fucking good is that, Baz? Hey?
That's so straight off. That is just insane.
Cheers.
Insane.
Have you ever tried it?
So I should imagine every adult in the world has tried it.
Yeah.
And can I just say right now, unsuccessfully on my half, because I just I don't even know where to begin.
Maybe after a few more pints, it might sound better.
Oh,
Do you know what?
Let's just get into this.
So
Let's get
now,
into this.
this is why I didn't want to. So I can now officially say welcome, Kimmy. I didn't want to say Kimmy just on the off chance that you happen to follow Kimmy Beatbox. And she is Kimmy Beatbox on all kinds of social media and stuff like that. So listen, if you are listening and you're watching and you want to find out more about Kimmy, we will put all the details on the website, thelockin.co.uk. So yeah, look, the story behind how we cross paths is, like I say, I'm on holiday in Woolacombe like I am all the time, and I was out with a few guys in this just a random bar, and it's not even like, it's just a, no offense to the bar where we were, but it's just a nothing bar. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bar in a place in a county in the UK. And I was just chatting to my mates, and then all of a sudden I just heard you, and I was just like, lads, just shut up, listen to this. And all my mates were just going, and I was like, no. So I had to leave him behind. And honestly, I just stood with my jaw wide open, looking at you and just thinking, this person cannot just have dropped into an open mic night in the bar that I'm in. And we had a chat. We had a chat and stuff, and I was just like, and I was a bit pissed, so I was probably fanboying then. But
To be honest, mate. Fine.
do you know what? And I was just like, this is incredible. And now people have heard the incredible that I heard as well. So listen, we'll talk to you about you and find out a bit more about you. And also we'll ask you to do a few more things like you do. But I'm like I say, I was just blown away by this, and then we had a chat, and I was like, "Hold on a minute, she's from my neck of the woods as well." And it was like, all these things were just like,
she's a northerner.
Raises, not just a northerner, but Kimmy, I don't know where you're from, but you must be from the Manchester sort of way, are you?
Yeah, Stockport, South Manchester.
Stockport, there you go. I'm from Bury, so.
Hey.
Yeah, well, annoying when I heard you, I was like, and then I came and chatted to you and was like, you know, she's from my. I was like, this is cool. It's like, I thought she was cool before, but now I know she's from our way. Do you know what I mean?
So this is the first time ever, as Mike said, that I've not known who's coming on. He said, "Oh, yeah, I want to sort of like get you on to come on when you come on first," and to surprise me, I've had 2 jaw drop moments, and that's the second one.
Hey.
And I've got a billion questions to ask you.
Fire them away, mate.
Look, there's going to be loads of cheesy questions that you've probably been asked a million times, but hey, that's what it is. Don't blame me. This is the questions that people listening and watching are going to be asking as well. So yeah, first question is just, how did you get into it, and what age was it, and when did you start doing it, and when did you know you were good at it?
So, I mean, I heard my brother do it. That's how I got into it, and I wanted to beat him at something because we were quite a sporty family growing up, and he used to beat me at everything. It did my nutting, so I thought, right, I'll have him at this. And I was really into my house and techno music back then, so I didn't know what beatboxing was at all. I just thought he was trying to imitate drums in songs, which is then what I did. Listening to like my favorite tracks, I just try and copy them with my mouth. Yeah, dead annoying. But I think I was like 15, 16, because I remember I was still in school, because I remember learning the heartbeat sound, and my French teacher used to tell me I sounded like a cat throwing up.
That's not so cool. A heartbeat is cool. A cat throwing up, not so cool.
I'll take it. But yeah, and then I didn't expect to get anywhere with it. It was just kind of a party trick you did in the smoking area on a night out or something. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I fell in love with it. Never stopped, and then started busking on the streets, which is kind of what made me carry on with it and do some sick bits.
Yes, so from my point of view, it's like when you first came on, you started singing, and you obviously didn't start doing it. And I'm like, oh, so Mike's found this like singer. So singing wasn't the first part of what you did. Was it the beatboxing that drew you into it?
Yeah, definitely beatboxing. It's only later on, because beatboxing, yeah, you can't hit a wrong note. No one can tell if you go instead of. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like singing, everyone can tell if you go instead of you know. So beatboxing in a way is, yeah, there's no like reason to be nervous really when performing. Whereas singing, even speaking, I'm quite a confident person in it, but when you're on stage in front of people, it's a totally different game, because I never set out to be a performer. That's never something that I thought I would do. So doing open mic nights like in Woolacombe, and that was quite a big thing for me when I was younger. And then obviously busking gives you a bit of a backbone as well, because you get all sorts thrown at you on the streets.
So yeah, let's go back to that night in Woolacombe. God, it must have been, I think it must have been like 5 or 6 years ago now. It's a good long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go back to that night. Had you kind of sought that place out, or have you gone, oh, there's an open mic night, I must get there, or had you just happened to be in there and just go, I'm gonna fucking blow their socks off with this? Listen to this.
Well, like yourself, I've been a regular Woolacombe goer. I've been going there every year since I was 7. I'm 28 now. I missed out on 1 year, I think, maybe 2 because of COVID. But yeah, so, and I've always, I don't know, the open mics there are kind of part of our little, like, because it's only on like once a week, innit? So, like, you're looking for some things to do there because it's quite a quiet place, innit? Or not much nightlife anyway. So yeah, we usually know that we're going to go to that open mic night each year. I don't think I'd got on every time before that, but yeah, depends how many pints I've had.
So the other question I've got is that going on that open mic night, clearly it's like most people are just going up and singing and things. It's like, what's a typical reaction to you? Because clearly you getting on the mic is completely different to someone standing up and singing Celine Dion and everyone's chatting to the mates and going, yeah, whatever. It's like, yeah. Do you find that typically people are like I was, just gone, the fuck is that? That is incredible. Do you find that is the kind of typical reaction? Just like, whoa.
Yeah, without like sounding like I'm licking my own arse. Yeah, it is mad, because I go to open mic nights or jam sessions or whatever, and they can have the most incredible singers on, but because people are kind of used to it now, they kind of not take it for granted, but it's more disposable to us now. Whereas like beatboxing is still such a underground thing in comparison to everything else. So if someone goes like on a mic, everyone's heads are naturally going to turn, because it's not a guitar and a voice. Do you know what I mean? But
right, if you're listening on the audio podcast as opposed to watching it on YouTube, that wasn't a sound effect of a cat purring. That was Kimmy just throwing something out there. So yeah, listen, if you are listening to it on the audio version, get over to YouTube and watch it, because part of beatboxing is standing and watching someone, or sitting and watching someone and just going, a human being is making these noises, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the mad thing, because people are always shocked, but we've all got the same instrument, so technically we can all do that, but we're just used to using our voices for speaking, singing, shouting, maximum, whistling maybe. But yeah, seeing, because you use so many different parts as well, so you use your throat, your tongue, your cheeks, your nose, your lips, your teeth, anything in this vicinity you use. And it's incredible. Like even now, when I hear top level beatboxers, I'm like, how on earth are they making all them noises at once, or how are they making that sound? So it's still mind blowing for a beatboxer hearing some sounds. You know what I mean? So like, if I take it back to the first time I heard someone that's at a decent level, my mind was like, so I just think it must be like that for anyone hearing it for the first time. And also definitely like the most common comment I probably get is, oh, it's a girl, because you can usually hear me before you see me, innit? Always, actually.
So that was going to be my first, without sounding like a sexist twat, the two things that first happened with you is like, A, you're a girl, and like most of the beatboxers you see on any other sort of social media or on the street are generally guys. But also, and this is where I'm going to sound a bit, but you're also like, so you're very pretty, and the first thing is people are just going to go, like, this is not going to be something that you do like before you even open your mouth.
Yeah. I think that definitely is a shock factor. You're just not used to seeing it. Even I thought for years, I was like, I'm never going to be able to go as low as the guys.
Yeah.
But it's not really to do with how deep your voice is. And if you're going to argue that, then you could argue the fact that I have an advantage that I can go higher than the guys. You know, everyone has a different mouth, and you can. Bass sounds don't just come from your throat, like that one I did in the first beat. That's just air. So
yeah, I love the way you say that's just air. Like me and Mike have got that, and we're not doing that.
It's just air and my face. It's just dead easy.
That one took me 4 months to learn that bass. So
I mean, see, that's the thing. Is like you said before. There's like everybody has got the ability to do it because everybody's got the same face and the same, the same areas of their head stroke neck that these sounds come from, but 4 months of dedication just to nail one sound, that's the difference.
I mean, I'm not a patient person at all, so I don't really know how it's all happened for me, but I think because I get asked a lot, do you practice every day? But it's not really a case of sitting down and saying, right, this is practice time. I'm always just making sounds, and I'm beatboxing at least 3 times a day at some point. Always in the shower. So if you want to practice with good acoustics, shower is a good place to start. You sound better than you are. But yeah, so I guess I do practice a lot, but subconsciously.
Just not formal practice. I guarantee if I started making noises like you do when I'm in the shower, my wife's going to start calling an ambulance and thinking I'm having some kind of turn. So it's probably not a good idea for me to do it. Do you know what I mean?
But also, not every sound takes 4 months to learn, but that one is called a lip roll, and it takes people different amount of times to learn. Some people have been trying to get it for years. Other people, it dropped in Woolacombe. I was walking along Woolacombe Beach one year, and I'd been trying, so I can only do it on one side of my mouth. So for 4 months, this is how it sounded on the other side. Totally different.
I love that one. That's my favourite so far.
I'll add that to my set. And then yeah. And there's different variations as well. Like,
So what's the first thing what's the first sound that you this is a cheesy question number one. So what's the first sound that you actually sort of hit on that you could sort of perfect?
Well, I focused on the sound that I thought I would use the most, which is the kick drum. So like because the more you practice that, the stronger it gets, because it's just using your lip muscles. Yeah. So when I first started, it was a bit more like super weak, and then now it's like so yeah, that one. But also that's a beat in itself. So and then just to mix it up, you can add one other sound.
That's called something, isn't it? The boots and
cats.
Boots and cats. Yeah, boots and cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, but the amazing thing about that is that you just went like, and you what did you call that? A kick drum?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just sound like it's a kick drum, and when you do it, it sounds literally like someone hitting a drum. You know, because obviously you perfected it over time.
Yeah.
And it's just like it literally sounds like somebody's hitting a drum. And that's the thing. It's just because obviously you've worked at it so hard and for so long, and it's just honestly like I say, obviously you will probably be enjoying listening to this on whatever audio platform you're listening to. But please God, get over to YouTube and watch it, because just seeing, like, I have to. I'm glad Baz said it, because I thought exactly the same thing. I thought there's this pretty girl who's just turned up in Woolacombe on stage. I was like, oh, here we go, there's another fucking singer. Do you know what I mean? And then and it is because, and I think that is something you've got as a big bonus, is that shock factor. Is, you know, if a big black guy had got up and started doing it, everyone would be like, yeah, that's cool, but they wouldn't have had the kind of whoa. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't have had the kind of like, put the fucking brakes on everything that's happening here and everybody look and listen to this girl. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is because it looks like to see you, and like I say, at this open mic night, I just thought she's going to come up and just sing some kind of, I don't know, Celine Dion or something like that. And then you kicked in with that, and I was just like, this is incredible. And it's just the kind of the difference between the way you look and the way you sound, I think, which is a massive, massive part of who you are and what you do. Yeah,
no, it definitely works in my favor. Fuck me. And there's not really any other females or non-binary people doing it as well. There's maybe, it's such a male-dominated industry, a white male-dominated industry as well, because beatboxing comes from black culture, and now it's just full of white teenage boys.
My exposure is, like, I saw a TED talk with a guy in Australia. I think most people who've ever beatboxed have seen it. And obviously, I can't remember the guy's name, but obviously he was going through it as a kind of like, in a TED talk fashion, was like breaking it down to like how he started it. But I'm pretty sure that most people, when they find, and it must be a thing, when you find you can do it, it must be one of those things where you kind of go, oh, fuck, I'm just going to go crazy with this now. Because, like, speaking from two people, I'm assuming Mike's never done it and can't do it. Let me go there right now.
I'm an incredible beatboxer.
Yeah.
It shows what you know about me.
He taught everything I know anyway.
But it's that thing where you kind of go, well, it can't be that difficult until you try it. So is there a point where you kind of go, fuck, I can do it. This is amazing. How far can I take it?
I think it's when I think going on a microphone is definitely encouraging, when you can actually hear yourself, and if you record yourself on your phone and just listen to it back, because sometimes you can't tell whilst you're doing it because you're concentrating on like what sound's coming next. So definitely listening back to yourself and doing it on a mic as well. But I don't know. I just think when you know that you hit the rhythm right, it could be the most simple beat, but the most simple beats are the hardest ones to get on time because there's so much space in between. So even if I'm just doing, even that beat that I did before, like you have to really like be on that. Whereas if I'm doing some more technical stuff, you can kind of blend it in a bit more, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I think anyone would be happy being able to just
yeah,
I would be.
Obviously, I mean, Kimmy was kind enough to mention that I taught her everything she knows. You know, I'm basically I am the Mr. Miyagi to Kim basically. I just taught her everything she knows. So you know, I'm not one to blow me on trumpet, and I don't like to talk about it. But,
you fucking are.
Appreciate that, Kimmy. You know what I mean? So it's like basically, Kimmy begged me to come on the podcast. And just said, look, you know, I know you taught loads of people to beatbox, but can I be the one that comes on the podcast and shows off? So there you go. You're welcome.
You did, yeah, thank you.
So Kimmy, have you recorded anything that you've done in terms of like, you know, like have you? So I guess what I'm saying is, have you made your own kind of tracks and then like even with your own vocals and stuff like that, or are you still making or you know cover versions of stuff and adding the beatboxing to it?
So I don't do that many covers, to be honest. I have maybe 7 to 10 covers now. Because I don't know, I love making beats, and a lot of my beats are quite 4 to the floor because of my house and techno that I what I started on. But I also love doing drum and bass as well.
A lot of people, I think, would assume that, like, if you're doing beatboxing, that you're going to sort of break into a track that they know. But if you're making completely original sounds, that's actually a form of music, and it's not just beatboxing at that point, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really humbling and heartwarming when I'm doing my own beats that I've made up and created myself that people don't know, and they're still dancing and vibing to them. Do you know what I mean? And especially busking. I still busk on a Sunday on Brick Lane because it's just good energy, and yeah, I love it. And yeah, seeing people dancing and knowing that that wouldn't be happening if you weren't there creating those sounds. Don't get me wrong, we had a fella unplug our microphones whilst we were busking like a couple of weeks ago. So you're not always going to please everyone, but that keeps you so grounded as well. And yeah, busking has definitely taught me so much. And if anyone's listening that's a musician and you haven't tried it before, then definitely do it.
I want to kind of talk a little bit about like the technicality behind doing it, and obviously I want to get you to do more stuff because that's what people are probably tuning in to listen to. But I mean, in terms of the technicality behind it, like one of the things I find amazing, and when I hear like top level beatboxers, is the fact that they can layer a number of things over the top of each other. And it's like, I guess that is something that comes with, you know, a lot of time, and you know, that's the stuff you've really got to work hard at. And you said before that sounds come from different parts, like from your mouth and from your nose and from like right back of the throat and stuff. And it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of layering all those together and working out a way that you could do all of them at the same time, is it?
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of just finding the space. So if you started off with a beat, even a simple one like, I know I can do that. Well, that's just two sounds and
simple. Yeah.
But I can breathe through my nose whilst doing that. So then I know that I'll be able to hum a note whilst doing that. If I can breathe, then I can hum a note through my nose. So you can do the.
Stop it.
And then you can do a bass sound through your nose as well, which is like a. I don't know if you can hear that.
Who can hear it? Is that coming through your nose?
Yeah, I learned that bass from watching a McDonald's advert, and it was like,
introducing the new chicken legend from McDonald's, tasty succulent chicken.
Can I just say, you sound like my interpretation of the devil when you do that, by the way.
Thank you. It is me, Satan. Yeah, so then I thought I'll try that. And so now I originally started just saying,
ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, gentlemen,
at the start of my shows. And then I figured I can do it through my nose. And then I can add a beat to it. Yeah.
So there must be stuff that when you've done it and tried it for the first time, you've surprised yourself, because it sounds like one of those things that, like, I wonder if I can do this, and then you do it and you're like, fuck, I actually can do it.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling as well. And especially like, because most sounds are going to take at least a week probably to get sounding good anyway. You'll be able to get the basics down. But yeah, when you've been trying to learn a sound and you get it, like the lip roll, oh god, that was like one of the happiest days of my life, because I just thought, fucking hell, 4 months, I'm never gonna get this.
Demonstrate a lip roll.
That is insane.
So you have to train, you pick a side, pick whatever side, or learn both sides, and you have to train your top lip to fold under slightly, and then you kind of want to create a tiny little pocket of air at the side. The best way I can describe it is it's like doing a kick drum on the side of your mouth, but inwards. If either of you can get that in a week, I'll give you a prize.
I'm not going to get it in a year.
You, mate.
From my point of view, it's one of those things that's like, you could do it in private with yourself, but like until you do it in front of somebody, you don't really know whether you've kind of hit the mark, because that's the true sort of test of it, isn't it, surely?
Yeah, defo. And it's so like, it's such an embarrassing thing, beatboxing. Like, oh my god, like the difference with, not so much, not for me in it, but like when I teach kids workshops compared to adults workshops, it's so funny. Like the kids, as soon as you do the sound, before you've even asked them to do it, they're already trying to do it, and they just do the first thing that comes into their head, and they're just not afraid at all. Whereas adults will be like, and which part of the mouth, or, and they'll just try and overthink it, and then yeah, I don't know, we're our own worst enemies, but the older we get, the more shy we are to kind of try those things and
it's
be
fear at the end of the day.
Yeah. But even when I'm trying to learn a new sound in front of someone, I'll give it like a good go 5 times, then I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll try it later.
I can imagine, like, if you're teaching kids, you're going to get covered in a lot of spit.
Yeah, there is that. I always make sure I'm stood up above them and they're sat down.
So, Kimmy, I mean, you've competed, haven't you?
I have.
Go on. Now it's your time to show off. Tell us your where you've competed and where. I know the answers to this. This is one of those cheesy questions that you get answered in an interview where they know the answer. But tell us where you've competed and where you ranked.
Sweet, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's pretty much a beatbox championships in every country, and then there's a grand beatbox battle, which is like the world beatbox championships basically. I've never been yet, but it's wicked, and that's another thing I love about beatboxing and any music, I guess. Everyone comes together from different countries and no one can speak the same language, but everyone's in a jam circle creating wicked beats together. It's sick. But yeah, I entered the UK champs in 2019, which was the last live ones before COVID. I'm not competitive. I just love beatboxing. A lot of the boys take it very seriously, and yeah, it's not my kind of environment, but it's awesome to watch, and like it was awesome to be a part of, and it was just nice to represent. Yeah, so I don't know how many people enter, but you have to send in a video, and then the judges have a night where they watch all the audition tapes, and then they narrow it down to top 32, I think. And then you do your elimination round. So I think you have to do 1 minute 30 in front of a crowd and judges, and they decide if you get through to the battle rounds, which is top 16. So I did my 1 minute 30 elimination. Didn't really expect anything, but got through to the battles. And I was like, okay, sweet, but also shit because I haven't planned anything. And I know all the boys have got routines for even if they got all the way to the final. And the battles, you have to have 3 minutes prepared for each one. So I do 1 minute 30, they do 1 minute 30, I do 1 minute 30, they do 1 minute 30, and then the judges decide. There's 3 judges. Yeah, and I think I had 1 minute 30 prepared in total. So I had one round covered, and I did the song, the Jessie J song, I Can Do It Like a Brother, Do It Like a Dude. Yeah. And it wouldn't have mattered who I was up against. I would have said these lyrics to anyone, but bless this guy, he took it a bit personal. So I did, I can do it like a brother, do it like a dude. I can even fuck your girlfriend better than you. And yeah, and went off, and then the crowd was like, why? And yeah, he wasn't, I think it threw him off a bit because then he tried kind of taking the piss out of me, but it didn't fully work in his next round. And then he finished he just stopped beatboxing like 10, 15 seconds before the timer finished, which is, wouldn't look great. But anyway, but I thought he was going to get through because he's a really talented beatboxer. But then I got...
Well, I'm guessing you threw him off his step, and that's part of the battle process, surely.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the battle.
I know. But I don't think people usually diss with like words in it. But anyway, fuck it. I think the audience had my back anyway because they knew I was the only non-male in the competition. And yeah, so then got through that round, and I was excited, but I was mainly like, well, fuck. Now I've got another 3 minutes that I'll come up with. So yeah, and then I was like, yeah, sick, thank you everyone, and then ran to the toilets because it happens like 20 minutes after each other, 15 minutes after each other. So ran to the toilet, was messaging my girlfriend at the time like, what do I do? Because they were watching it on the live stream. Came up with another lot. Didn't expect to get through that round. Bloody got through that one as well. And I was like, oh man. Like,
another 3 minutes.
Yeah. And I was like, I should be excited. Like, obviously I was gassed, but I was like, what are you doing? And then, yeah, got to the semi-finals basically. And so, but I was against my mate like I'm in a group with him. He's called Bass Ventura. He's so sick.
Great name, by the way.
It's a good one. I knew that there was no way, like he's levels and levels above me, and yeah, he worked so hard for it as well. And I think I gave up in the second round. I was like, yeah, that's yours, mate. But yeah, first female to get that far in over 10 years, which is pretty cool.
So as a beatboxer, do you have like lots of, so you're saying like you've got 3 minutes, then another 3 minutes, then another 3 minutes. You've probably got hours and hours of stuff you could probably do, but obviously if you take stuff into a battle, you want it to be like your best and most different stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. And clean and new. You want it all to be new, because like I've got stuff that I can use for busking, or that I know go down at certain gigs or corporate events kind of thing. But yeah, battle, you want to show your newest and strongest stuff, and you also get judged on kind of crowd participation. So if you're an introvert and you're just kind of stood there with hat and hood on or something, then...
Have you ever pulled something out of the bag which you were like, fuck, where did that come from?
Well, yeah, one of the rounds I did at the battles, because I was just winging it, which I do in every aspect of my life anyway, but particularly then, because everyone knows my like busking beats and stuff, so I didn't want to rinse all of them. But yeah, I got on stage at one point, I went, I didn't think I'd get this far, so I didn't prepare anything for this battle. I didn't think I'd get this far, so I didn't prepare, but fuck it, big up the girls. Yeah, and just went into some like grimy beat, and that popped off a bit. But I don't know, it's fun to test. That's why I love busking still, because no one's bought tickets to come see you, so you can put on your best or worst performance and no one knows.
Yeah,
so it's a really good way of practicing new stuff that you want to try out, or just freestyling. Sometimes when I've done like a couple of good sets, or like sets that I know what beats I'm going to do, I'll just do 10 minutes of holding the mic and just letting my brain do whatever. And sometimes like you might fuck up, or other times you're like, wow, that was nice.
Well, I'm guessing as well, if you're in an audience of like other beatboxers, there's a hell of a lot more pressure than it is doing, you know, the open mic night where Mike saw you, because like obviously there's no experts. Sorry, Mike obviously taught you everything you know, but obviously you know,
massive expert, Baz. How dare you?
I'm so sorry, but also it's that thing of like, if you're in front of people, you can just impress people with probably your, the simplest things you've learned from the beginning. Because like, we sat here earlier kind of going, shit, and that was probably just stuff that you do randomly. If you're in front of a load of people who are literally your peers, there must be a lot of pressure for you to kind of go, I need to fucking blow these people away.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really lovely community. Like, I can see as an outside, like if I was a teenage girl looking in that wanted to get into beatboxing, I'd be like, oh, don't know about that. Like, it's because it is really just sweaty teenage boys just going like making mad sound, like sick, but yeah. So, but it is a lovely community. So if I was ever doing something new, even if I didn't do it 100% clean, people would pick up on that and be really supportive and be like, yeah,
that's cool.
And I always say about the beatbox community, what's really nice in comparison to maybe like the singing community, like singers that have a similar sound to another singer, you see that as competition really. Whereas beatboxers, if someone discovers a new sound, they make a tutorial and teach it to as many people as they can straight away. Do you know what I mean? So it's really, really nice for that. And everyone's kind of got their unique style, and I love doing it with other beatboxers. So I perform quite a bit with another beatboxer called Beatboxer. And he busks with me on Brick Lane on Sundays. And it's so sick doing it with another beatboxer, especially freestyling, because the only rule is that one person does the beat and the other person does the bass or the melody. So we'll be side by side. Say I'm doing the beat. He'll be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And like doing like some mad bass line, and together it's and then when there's three of you, honestly, when I'm in between them two on stage, I feel like the luckiest person alive. Like, it's so sick and it's so mind blowing. Like, yeah, if you can get to a show whenever we do one together, you have to come through. Because yeah, we get so gassed, and you can't smile and beatbox at the same time. It's not possible. So you have to like switch off and just concentrate.
So when you say you do a show, what is a show? Because I've never been to a beatbox show, but like obviously I've been to gigs, like music gigs and that. But is there a similar thing for beatboxing? There's like people would just go along and go to a show of their favorite beatboxer or whatever.
Well, yeah, there is that, definitely. It's not as common as like singing events and stuff. That's usually run by beatboxers, so it's usually just beatboxers at the events. But I do, like, I would love to create a show. This is just an idea at the minute, but kind of do like a Kimmy and, because I've worked with so many different artists using different instruments, different genres of music, different singers, different beatboxers, and I just have this vision of doing like an evening of different collaborations with different artists that I've worked with, and then just finishing on a mad beatbox. Yeah, whatever you
Kimmy,
want.
I'm not gonna lie, Kimmy, I'm buying the first ticket for that. So you need to let me know when the tickets go on sale for that, because I'm buying the first ticket, because that sounds fucking incredible. That
Yeah.
I'm all over that. I'm all over it.
I'll make that.
So just winding it back a little bit. So is this your full-time job, or do you have a job and this is like still very much you're kind of like foray into your musical side?
Yeah, no, I've been very fortunate to live off it for 9 years now.
I'm so pleased about that. This is brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, I started dog walking though in November, just because I wasn't getting my steps in. It's easy to stay inside, like when all your music stuff's at yours. Do you know what I mean? And I'll go for walks and stuff, but now I'm doing like 3-hour walks with about 40 dogs a day, not just on my own. But
Do you beatbox to those dogs as well when you're out?
yeah, it's jokes, because the first like time you meet them, you make a sound and they're like, hmm? And then after a week, they're just like, whatever.
For someone like me, like I love music. I love many different forms. As a kind of unrequited musician that doesn't have the ability, I look at you and I kind of go, "There's someone who doesn't need a guitar or drums or keyboards, because you can just make your own sounds." It's kind of like this sounds really wanky, but like your own orchestra. You could just sort of like do all the sounds that you wanted, right?
Totally. And I think, like, going back to one of the questions you asked earlier, like, do you, like, when you realize you're good at it, do you just do it all the time? But because you've always got your instrument on you, I think that's why it's like once you start doing it, and you tend to love it once you start it, even if you're shit. So you've got no excuse not to do it. And also, I don't know, everyone gets inspiration from different things, but there could be like the indicator in a car going off, like, and you can just do a beat with that. Do you know what I mean? Or
a garage there for us.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it totally depends.
I know that one.
But it's kind of weird, because like everyone's aware of the term beatbox, and and as like, so myself and Mike, this is not the first time we've seen anybody or heard anybody beatbox. I think it's more bizarre the fact that you just do it literally at the drop of a hat, and then it's almost like another vocabulary for you that you just sort of like peel off. Do you ever get times where people? Do you ever do a thing where like people don't know what you do and you just drop it and people are like, "Where's that coming from?"
Yeah, all the time. Like to wind people up as well. My mate Beatbox, he can do a really good like bird tweet, but he can make it sound like, you know, the fire alarm when it goes like beep. So like if we're in a building, like he can do it so loud and everyone's like so yeah, you can definitely wind people up with it.
What I want to do is I want to give you, just before we go, I want to give you an opportunity just to do whatever you want to do, and just before we go, just blow us away with something.
All right, sweet. Well, I'll keep it lively with some drum and bass then. I am the drum and bass father, body like Gaza. Don't wear Gucci, don't wear Prada. When I have sex, I like to push it in harder. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Unbelievable.
I wear headphones generally so I don't bleed the sound back onto the audio on this. This is the first time I'm so appreciating wearing headphones right now. It's straight inside my head. I fucking love it.
I know I came closer because I don't know if you can tell it's like a sub bass. So on a microphone, that's the one that makes the room shake. But
I know it shouldn't be something funny, but like for someone who doesn't do it, it's kind of like, what the fuck? That's so, yeah. It's funny in a way that like that's not even possible. Even when you know someone's doing it, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it is mad. But just blowing raspberries, though, really, isn't it?
Are there any sounds that you're developing at the moment? And also, what's next for you in terms of where are you taking your career now?
So there's a sound called inward bass that I really want to learn. I can't do it at all, but yeah, if you YouTube inward bass,
it's a reason to get you back on.
Sweet, all right. Give me 4 months.
No problem. We'll book you in. We'll book you in now for what's that? April, May, June, July, August. Right, August. You're coming back with your inward bass.
I'll see you then, mate.
Sweet.
Yeah. So what's coming up for you? What other things you getting to get into?
So next, I'm kind of focusing on trying to pull my finger out, to be honest, and sing. Because I want to release at least one song by the end of the year. I need to stop being a wet wipe with it and just It's so funny. Even when I'm recording, if I'm trying to record a video of me singing, even if I'm the only person in the house, I'll finish the song and go like I can't help but like make a sound as like my little hug at the end to be like it's all right. You know what I mean? So yeah, working on not being as scared of singing, definitely, and also using my loop station more. So I'm doing Camp Festival this year, and they want a 40-minute set. So I thought definitely gonna have to get the loop station for that. So I'm gonna be a pro by June.
Fantastic. I love it.
Nice. If anyone's wondering how to get hold of Kimmy and how to see all of her stuff and find all of her links and stuff, if you go to thelockin.co.uk, we will drop all the links on there. So that's where you go to find all the links to everything that Kimmy does. So the only thing I've got left to do is to thank you, Kimmy, for being here. And Joe, I thank. I'm not a massively spiritual person, but I'm blessed that the stars aligned that night in Woolacombe that kind of brought you into my life. And I just honestly, that night is a night that I look back on and I just think I've never had such a moment where I've just been kind of blown away by something like that. Honestly, I'm blessed that happened, and thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for the compliment.
You're very, very welcome. You're amazing. I love you. I love what you do. I think you're incredible. And thanks for being on. Thanks everyone for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click notifications, and just look, if there's a button to press, a share button, a like button, a subscribe button, or anything like that, click them all. And as I always say, if you've enjoyed this, share it with your mates. If you've not enjoyed this, share it with people you don't like. I don't care. I just want you to share it. All right. So thanks again, Kimmy. And listen, everyone, we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Thank you.